Mercedes Monet says that
God.
she thinks she found another wrestling soulmate in Chris Statlander. So in the Monet Meg, which is spelled, she spells it like that.
Right,
That's
she still
wrong,
spells it
bro.
She trademarked the wrong accent.
In my heart, I knew that Chris had pushed me to do better, to think creatively, and to fight with everything I had. She's not just a formidable opponent, but I think I found another wrestling soulmate who challenges me to elevate my game. So there you go. I'm sure Meltzer doled out a lot of stars for those. Samantha Irvin's WWE no-compete clause prevents AEW appearance despite backstage visit. And we all kind of knew that, dummies. But, yeah, I mean, she's obviously going to show up in AEW.
Right. The
We
90
all
days
know,
can't have too much longer.
Yeah, and it might not happen right away, but... Yeah,
and it won't be and the biggest thing about that is what we're calling is her not being a ring announcer. That's the whole point. She's going to come do others, which hopefully she's good at, but we'll see.
So Disco Inferno says Hulu is showing the Avengers instead of AEW Dynamite. So there you go. Hulu, do they typically show Dynamite? Why is this a thing that he tweeted about?
Or maybe Hulu's got one, because I know certain streamers, depending on where you are, will have access if you have the right connections or pay the right amounts, or you can have certain live channels through them. So maybe they have TBS and we're airing the Avengers instead of when Dynamite should have been on, but I don't know.
So comicbook.com and WWNpopculture.com, they post this out here that all Elite Wrestling fans are not happy with the ads on Dynamite Max's debut. So what do you think about that? Were there tons of Mui ads?
No,
or
what I saw, and actually one of them was Brian Last, because he was watching the and when they said it was going to picture in picture with the ads on Max, it was just straight ads, is what I saw from him and a couple other people that posted about it too. But Brian Last was the one that brought it to my attention.
Well, that's
yeah, right. Especially because they promoted as picture in picture, and then you're like, cool. What the fuck is this?
So Ric Flair, was reportedly originally scheduled to return to AEW for a cameo on Saturday's Collision in Charlotte, but is now no longer expected to appear at the show. Typo by Wrestle Talk. And yeah, he revealed that earlier. We saw it, like when Tony Khan found out he was on blood thinners or whatever, he didn't want him in the ring at all. So there you go. Shout out Ric Flair. EVP Nicholas Jackson has revealed that Tony Khan initially wasn't very high on Orange Cassidy early on in AEW's existence, with the Young Bucks having to sell Cassidy to Khan before he eventually came around to the former international champion. And when I read this, I was like, "You what? Who the would cop to this, bro?
Seriously, that's the worst thing
right now."
That's
and the Bucks are like, man, we purposefully made AEW bad, and we purposefully were wrestling boring. And now they're saying we had to convince him to bring Cassidy in. Why would they cop all this? And I swear, I bet they think this is like their gimmick. So that like me are like outraged over it and all of that. No, this is par for the course, bro. Don't worry. I figured you were this dumb. Okay, this isn't anything new. But here's the thing: I didn't think you were dumb enough to cop the best guys, Tony Khan. That's crazy to me. So, god damn it, you got to blame the Bucks for everything. Maybe they just take the blame for everything and disappear to New Japan, and Tony pays them $1 billion, and that's the new deal that they've worked out. Maybe that's the new deal they worked out. Like, hey, we'll just take the blame for everything. We'll off, pay us, and then we can say it's a great reset for Tony Khan, and then it'll still be though. But yeah, man, they had to sell him on Cassidy. They said they've been phoning it in. They've been trying to make AEW boring. What the point of having them? Oh, they're making $3 million a week. Okay, the Bucks are both on NBA level deals. So is that 6 or 7 figures? Who knows? But good luck paying everyone in the company. It drives me nuts.
It's ridiculous. I still like the comment. I didn't do a tumble out of the ring for 8 months. You use the word tumble. Just stop.
I swear he thinks he's working people.
Yeah.
by
Is
saying
this how you
that.
get heat? No, it's how you get go away heat.
So here's like advertisements for Netflix. That's not what I'm focusing on, but this is, I think, what you were talking about. I don't know, just out with the old, in with the new. Stream these titles and more this month on Max.
This is
And
their
like, you know,
advert. No, I saw a thing that was like the list of the top 10 most popular shows on Max this past
so
weekend.
well, obviously AEW wasn't going to be on that, but all I'm saying is this, dude. Look at this ad for WWE and Netflix. Like, they've been rolling out the
Even
red
my
carpet.
wife's noticed.
They've been making WWE such a great presence on their platform and their advertising. This is what Max did on the same day. Stream these titles and more this month on Max, this January on Max. You know, I don't see AEW anywhere. Sorry, we got The Curious Case of Natalia Grace, Creature Commandos. I got to watch that. Fast Friends, The Pit, Harley Quinn, CB Strike, The Ink, Blockheart, The Sex Lives of College Girls, Bookie, Hard Knocks in season with the AFC North, and then new movies: Blue Velvet, Cable Guy, Call Me By, whatever. A bunch of movies, no AEW, not even like a mention of like, check out this. Like, here's not even like a post just for AEW. Maybe there is one that I missed that isn't so prominent, but someone put this together. I don't expect Max to be a huge difference, regardless. Like, maybe 50,000 people, if they're lucky, will watch it on Max. You know, I saw some people saying 65K. There's no evidence to that. There's no proof of that anywhere that I can see.
And even like my wife on her Netflix, she's noticed that, like, wow, WWE's presence is everywhere. And it's not nearly as prevalent here in the US as it is for the rest of the world. But even she's noticed, like, they're definitely advertising it really well here.
Speedball Mike Bailey is officially, via Fightful Select, their latest gossip. Speedball Mike Bailey is officially a free agent and is set to head to AEW imminently. The latest gossip from Fightful Select there. So, yeah, we'll see Speedball Mike Bailey in AEW. I already was assuming that. He flat out has tweeted like a long time ago. He tweeted out there, he's like, I don't give a fuck about legacy. Like, I just travel the world with my beautiful wife and I get to have fun and do matches I like with people, you know, and like, I'm so blessed. Like,
forehead.
He truly feels blessed already in life for just being able at the level he's at. So if he goes and gets that Tony Khan money and he's allowed to like go have a crazy match again with Will Ospreay, I think that's his happy place. That's his WrestleMania. So good on him. And I appreciate Mike Bailey. I don't think they will appreciate him the way he could do some specials in NXT especially, but you know, he's not too great on the mic either. So a lot of people would say, what is WWE really missing out on? And hey, maybe that's the truth, and maybe AEW is the place for him. And I don't know. I'm gonna still mark out over his matches for a while, but I know one of them will trigger me and get the internet mad when it's too many kickouts in a Will Ospreay. And I criticized their match in TNA for the same thing. Too many kickouts. Will Ospreay buries himself, and then buries his opponent because it takes 19 moves. You know, but yeah, I hope Bailey just does what makes him happy, and we know that he doesn't give a fuck about like going and doing WrestleMania or whatever. So good on him, I guess. I don't know. Your thoughts? I don't know. Are you a Mike Bailey fan?
I mean, I'm not a Mike Bailey fan. The matches I've seen with him have been good. I would honestly rather see him go to NXT and be like a player coach kind of situation, almost what Sean Spears is doing.
Oh, look, Awful Wrestling appeared with Wade Keller here. No, I'm just joking. So wait. If you know Awful, it looks just like him. Wait.
For a second, I had to look closer. I had to get closer to my screen. You son of a bitch.
So wait. Tony Khan dropped the whole Elite Takeover storyline because he didn't want even a fake storyline for fans to think anybody but him was booking matches in AEW. So Wade Keller's like talking about this. We covered this on this show a long ass time ago. I talked about this.
The best guys, Tony Khan.
And we rose to this because it was hearsay. And it says PWT, shout out PWT. Yeah, no, but there I think what's Wade Keller? He's the PWTorch, right? Pro Wrestling Torch. We're Pro Wrestle Times. Okay. They're PWTorch, of course. Shout out Pro Wrestling Tees as well. Okay. There's lots of the PWTs out there, but we're the superior one. Okay. We talked about this a long fucking time ago on this show. We'll hear what they have to say here. And it was just hearsay then. So I don't know if Wade confirms it or what, but yeah, Meltzer said what is like laughing. He's like, Tony dropped the whole Elite Takeover because he didn't want even a fake storyline for fans to think anybody but him is booking matches in AEW. And when we talked about this on the show, it was about someone becoming like a general manager or whatever, and people getting the perception. He didn't want the perception that Jeff Jarrett was
Daniels?
Could be a booker. Yeah, it was like Daniels and Jeff Jarrett. Like the conversation was about them possibly booking or whatever, or being creative. And Tony talked about how he would never put Jeff Jarrett in a role like that. That's why he's just a wrestler, because he doesn't want the perception that like going back to old thing, or like Jarrett could book better. That's admitting that Jarrett's like a better booker and he booked TNA, and look at TNA and look at AEW. That's what Meltzer was saying. And then with the Danielson thing too, it was like he didn't want the perception that Danielson was like booking, like he still wanted credit for it. Tony wants the credit for everything. That's why he's got 9 titles to all jobs, even in the NFL. Anyways, though, I've babbled enough. Let's see. This pertains to the Bucks. So this is just further evidence of what we talked about so long ago on the show. But here we go.
So, Chris, you talked about it earlier, but talk about where the Moxley character is in that whole act. We have, FTR and Copeland. Now Copeland showing up to defend AEW.
Cope, buddy, get the name right.
Get the name right.
Are they, we had the whole thing with Tony Khan and the NFL draft and the neck brace and the Bucks thing just dropped.
Cope now, dude. Okay.
Stupid idiot.
And multiple sources told me Tony didn't want even a storyline that suggested anyone was booking the show but him, which is just yikes. And a whole major storyline was dropped because he didn't want people thinking, even in storyline, other people were booking matches. And now we have this in the first place.
So is that confirmed by Wade Keller, just him saying that in passing? Because I feel like this is sort of a little rumbling that's been out there about Tony McCann for a while now. And he's just sort of bringing it up, just sort of in passing. And maybe there is some validity to this. Wade Keller isn't a complete and utter stooge, is he not? I don't know. Is he, Jake? He's not one of my fools. He must be doing something right.
I was gonna say, I feel like he's more correct than he's not, but every now and then you see his name associated with the BS. But I do think he tries to steer away from that, as far as I understand. I don't know who this Chris Maitland is. I don't know who that is. Who Awful is, or the chat just keeps going nuts on who they're saying. I think it's Bobby Lashley's older cousin, Robbie Lashley, is who I think.
And a whole major storyline was dropped because he didn't want people thinking, even in storyline, other people were booking matches. And now we have this in the first place. I know, and just it's okay if there's a story that other people are booking matches. So, like Brian Bayless in the chat says, Death Riders are just another generic heel of the stable.
Oh man, I wonder if that's legit. I think it is, man. It just sort of suits Tony McCann's personality. And we were talking about, is Wade Keller legit or whatever? Here's Heel Uzi posting just some ridiculousness here. Okay, so.
Oh, I've seen this.
Yeah, so here's some poll, I guess. PWTorch put out, how are you watching or planning to watch Dynamite? 30% said TBS as usual, 18% Max, I don't have cable, 22% said Max, but I have cable, 30% said don't plan to watch, right? Yeah. And then...
But that's not the key number.
No, but listen, though. And then Wade Keller says, this week's numbers, listen to what he extrapolates from this. This week's numbers are the first data set when Dynamite was simulcast on Max. In our Twitter X poll, 30% of our respondents who were watching Dynamite said they watched on Max instead of TBS, even though they had access to TBS. If that extrapolates to the larger population, Dynamite would have drawn. So this, again, he's doing like a what if. And it's a reach, bro. Okay, like let's just be honest here. This is a reach. And he goes, would have drawn 764,000 if Max weren't an option, which that to me seems like a normal, but even kind of high Dynamite number lately. No, is that a little high for Dynamite?
Very.
Let's be fair. Is that very high?
When was the last time they broke 7? When was the last time?
Exactly. I'm trying to be like extra fair. So weren't an option, which would have been the highest viewership since last July. But this is all, listen to what he says. It's based on his Twitter poll with 250 votes. That's how he figures this.
Votes. Yeah.
Their biggest high since last July. Get the out of here. There was college football on, according to all Jake. So, but still fewer than the 801 the show drew 1 year ago on Jan 2. Our Twitter poll also indicates among those watching Dynamite, more than half overall were watching on Max rather than TBS. Bro, this is your 250 of your followers voted on this. So if we extrapolate that to the biggest thing, or like to the rest of the population, how the f is this even something you write in your newsletter or whatever the f this is? Is this a report?
Yeah.
What does Wade Keller do? A news show? Is he a journalist?
No,
He's a journalist,
I really,
right?
I've just seen the name. I think he's a
Okay,
journalist.
he's a
I mean,
dirty
yeah,
guy,
I think the PWTorch used to be a newsletter.
Listen, so all I'm saying is, like, why would this even be? Here's our little scientific experiment we conducted that really doesn't mean anything. This is what they're spending their time talking about. I don't know if this just like distracts people, so that's how they get people to read it, or I don't know what's going on over there. I'm not trying to take shots over at Wade Keller or a fellow PWT, but god damn it, how is this, like, say at the top, here's a cute experiment I did for fun, you know, right? Like, none of this is serious. How the is this some you're like fleshing out seriously? In my opinion, this is like such a waste of time, and this is why you can't blame people for clowning ratings when people are taking the time to try and, what is he trying to do here? So what's the point of this? To say that Dynamite would have, in a fantasy alternate universe where your 250 voters on your Twitter bubble were the entire population, and AEW would add a good number. I'm not even saying it's chilling for AEW. Even if this was like WWE would have had a good number. What the f would be the point of even hearing this? You know, sorry, that's all I'm getting at.
Yeah.
I don't know if you people are with me or if I'm going too hard on this, but I was like, what? Why would you even do this? You know, and then I don't know if he like shills for AEW, just criticized them in the other video. So I don't want to hear this guy's nut washing Tony. He criticized him before. So I'm down with Keller. But yeah, he's towing a thin line here. There's a thin line between foolery and no, I'm just kidding.
I mean, even if like
chat, be cool, chat, be cool. Wade Keller's still a cool chat, okay? But listen, our Twitter X poll extrapolating the percentage votes compared to actual viewership would indicate 1.352 million watched overall between TBS and Max. Oh, Jake, did 1.3 million people watch Dynamite between Max and TBS? Do you honestly believe that, gun to the head?
God, no.
God,
fucking Mark. I would be closer to believing 0.352 million watched than 1.35. If you had to make me pick between the two, that's where I would go.
Oh my God, dude. Yeah, there's no way.
It's ridiculous.
And he extrapolated this from his 250 people. So what's the point of doing that? Now, I get if he had a poll and they're like 1 million people voted. Okay, now we're talking like
10,000, something, a real number where you can have a base, not 250.
Dude, 250. That's like me going, hey, the PWT Awards, if extrapolated, you know, fucking like they're just in our own little universe, right? That's why we call it the PWT universe. Yeah, Pete in Texas for $5 says there's no world where hundreds of thousands of people watched AEW out of the blue because it's on Max. Yeah.
Pete nailing it, man. Pete's been on it.
That's what I mean. It's so funny. Yo, Wade, we're close.
You just made.
I cut him off there, Wade. It's close, buddy.
You're about to.
We're gonna keep an eye on Wade Keller, chat. Okay, we're gonna keep an eye on Wade. We're gonna see.
Some in the chat have already turned on him. I can see that. Some have, which I understand.
We're gonna keep an eye on this Wade fellow, okay, till we get to know him a little better here. So charts. I tweeted this out since Junkie blocked me over CM Punk's WWE return. I've stolen his chart for my live show this evening. Shout out Junkie. I have no problems with the guy at all. But streaming percent of all US TV watch time November 2024. So it's just a chart basically of YouTube is the main thing. More people use YouTube for just audio than Spotify and Apple and all that and iTunes or whatever combined. Just audio, let alone the visual aspect as well on YouTube. It's just the kingpin. Netflix, way up there. Not hating even that Max is at 1.1%. But just when these sickos go, 2 million people watch, or Wade Keller's saying some weird, it's like, that's not even possible.
Yeah, I'm not hating on Max, but how does Tubi have a better? I mean, Tubi's got a better presence than Peacock, because
it's free. Too. It's free. They just lick off those quick 2-second ads, and
yeah, that's true.
Queen of No Pop Mercedes. Well, let's be in moderation here. Yeah, Queen of No Pop Mercedes Cringe Monet is delusional as delusional can be. Mercedes Monet says, in this very moment, I'm king. Oh yeah, this is like a rap. In this very moment, I'm a kinga. This very moment, I slay Goliath with the slinger. This very moment, I bring put it on everything that I will retire with the ringer. and I will retire with the crown, yes. Noah, I'm a not a lucky, I am a ballesta, yes. Clapper for the heavyweight champ, me. But I couldn't do it all alone, we. Wrestle Dynasty. I hope I did justice to that. We need a beat. I should have put on drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. Oh man. Shout out Mercedes. But there's her little freestyle rap there for her little Wrestle Dynasty rap. In this very moment, I am king. This very moment, I slay Goliath with a sling. I don't think this would work on beat. I'd have to hear it.